Hi, welcome to Yoga with Lynn and Leo, and welcome to day 9 of our 19 days of yoga. We're starting again in Adho Svanasana, so either from a prone position, as you can see Lynn in the white doing, or from hands and knees, as Leo is doing in the coloured top. So come up into your dog pose, Adho Svanasana. Look forwards, and now bend your knees and step or jump into Uttanasana. You know this little sequence now, and we're going through it quite quickly today. So either with the feet together and coming into the classic version as Lynn is showing. This is a challenging action, very strong on the hamstrings, and you may need to have a bit of experience of yoga before you come into this version of the pose. Or take the legs wider, have the hands onto yoga bricks or onto the seat of a chair. Release, we're coming back into Adho Svanasana, jumping or stepping the feet back into your dog pose. Pressing into the hands, pressing into the knuckles, spread your fingers. Now bend your knees. We're going to work the root of the thighs away from the torso. So with this action, with the knees bending, then straightening the legs by pushing the thigh bones back, it works a little more in the shoulder girdle and helps to open out in the backs of the legs. Make sure that the heels don't swing in. Look forwards, and we're going to step or jump again into Uttanasana, the forward folding action. So again, you can take the feet wider, hands onto bricks for those who are less experienced. For the more experienced students with flexibility, come into the full Uttanasana with the hands by the sides of the feet and the torso extending down the legs. Keep the legs straight, the kneecaps lifting, sitting bones lifting, and really extend the hamstrings up into the inserts. Press into the outer edges of the feet and lift your inner ankles. Look forwards, and now come up and stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. Roll the shoulders back and down and lengthen through the tailbone. So we're going to stand in the center of the mat now. We're coming for Parivrtta Trikonasana, Revolved triangle pose. You may want to use your bricks if you're working in the modified action. If that's the case, bring them to the front of your mat. Bring the hands to the center and step or jump the feet wide. Now we've done this pose before. Place the hands onto the hips, turn the back foot in well, the whole of the front leg and foot out completely. So we're turning to the right here. If that back foot doesn't turn in well, it's difficult to get the rotation of the hips. Extend the left arm up, lengthen through the front of the body, keep both side waists long, and either taking the brick to the inner ankle or to the outer ankle, or you're taking your hand to the outer shin so that you're working in the classic pose. You can see that Lynn here in the white is taking the arm up. If you've got your balance, you can take the top arm up. Leo in the dark top has got the top hand still onto the outer hip. Come up, turn the feet to face forwards. You can move your bricks out of the way so you don't knock them over. Turn your right foot deeply in, the whole of the left leg and foot out, and rotate the hips. Take the right arm up by your right ear, lengthen and extend on that right side waist, and start to rotate as you come forwards. Start to turn, start to turn, start to turn. You can see that Leo is taking the hand to the outer hip to keep that outer hip lifted. Lynn has the hand, the bottom hand, that's the right hand, to the outside of her left shin. That lower arm helps to push that shin back. And you can see that Leo has kept the brick to the inner ankle, but you can take it to the outer ankle if you're able to do so. Come up and step or jump the feet back into the center. Stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. So re-establish, taking the weight back into the heel rims, lengthen the toes, lift through the fronts of the legs. Lift out of the front of the pelvis and lengthen the tailbone towards the floor. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift through the chest. Keep the gaze of the eyes steady and even. So we're coming into the next action now, which is Parivrtta Parsvakonasana. So step or jump the feet wide. If you're using bricks, you may want to get your bricks and place them to the back of the mat now. You can see that Leo is getting the bricks ready there. If you're working in the classic action, then you won't need the bricks. Turn the back foot in slightly. That's the left foot turns in 15 degrees. The whole of the right leg and foot turn out to 90. And come into a Virabhadrasana 2 action. So we're revolving now. You take the left elbow to the outside of your right knee, and then you take the hand down either to the floor, or as you can see Leo is doing, onto the brick. Take the top arm up, roll that shoulder up and back, and extend the arm over the ear. This is a challenging action, so if it's not coming just yet, work on the other standing poses. We do have a series on standing poses, and if you work on your normal standing poses, then these twisting actions come a little easier. Come up, turn the feet to face forwards, and now turn the back foot in slightly, the whole of the left leg and foot out. Come into a Virabhadrasana 2 Warrior 2 action, and then hook your right arm over your left outer leg. So we're pushing against that shin, against that thigh. The top arm can come round and hold the outer hip, as you can see Leo is doing here, to help the rotation in the chest. Extend into that back leg heel. Keep the back leg strong and straight. Don't let the back leg thigh drop to the floor. Stretch up with the top arm, rotate it in the shoulder joint, and take the arm over the ear. So you're extending strongly into the fingertips. Release the arm, come back up through Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, and then coming into a standing position, step or jump the feet back into Tadasana. Roll the shoulders back and down, take the weight back into the heels, lift through the chest, and recover your breath. We're coming down into a seated action, Dandasana now. You can either sit on 2 foam pads and have a brick behind you, or a couple of bricks by the side of you, or you can sit onto your bolster. So you can take the bolster and place it vertically on your mat and sit on the front edge of that. We're coming into a Parsva action in our Dandasana. You can see that Lynn is sitting on no support. She can maintain this lift through the chest, the lift through the spine, without any support underneath the sitting bones. If you're unable to do that and maintain the straightness of the legs, the lift in the spine, then sit onto a support as Leo is showing, either onto the bolster as you can see here, or onto a couple of foam pads. Take the right hand behind you, extend the left arm up by your left ear, and turn to your right. Take that left hand to the outside of the right leg and rotate your spine, using the hand behind you to help with this rotational action. Have a quick glance at your feet. Make sure that your right leg doesn't become short. So stretch into the right inner heel, lengthen that right leg as you lift the spine using your breath and rotate. Come back to the center, re-establish your Dandasana, and turn now to the left side. So take the right hand to the outside of the left leg, take the left hand behind you, either onto your bolster or onto a brick if you're using bricks and blocks. Keep both legs extending evenly. Inhale, lift your spine, and on an exhalation through the nostrils, rotate a little more. Don't overturn your head, only turn the head as far as the spine is going. Keep the breath fine and even through the nasal passages. Keep the facial muscles soft. The legs need to be active. Return to the center. We're coming for Malasana, so sit back onto your heels as Lynn is showing here, or get your support. You can use your platform or a foam pad or a rolled blanket to take the heels onto, and have a couple of bricks. Sit back on your heels with the toes turned under. So tuck your toes under, and either, as Lynn is doing, come back into a Malasana action with the heels to the floor, or, as Leo is showing, with the heels onto a support. We're working with the feet hip width apart here, it just gives a little more space. Try and ensure that the heels go straight back rather than turning in, and take your hands either to the floor ahead or onto your bricks. Press down into your heels. If your heels are up on the support, push down into that support. If the heels are onto the floor, push down onto the floor. The knees come wide and you grip the outer ribs with the inner thighs. Extend the frontal body forwards onto your bricks or onto the floor. Extending back into the groins. Release, coming back into a kneeling position and then into Dandasana, staff or stick pose. Either sitting onto your support or sitting onto the floor. Keep the chest lifted, extend into the inner heels, roll the shoulders back and down, and lift through the chest. We're coming for Halasana now, so get your equipment ready. 4 foam pads to make a platform, and you can flip your mat over those 4 foam pads and then place your launch pad in front of it. You can see that Leo here is using a bolster for the launch pad, Lynn is using a foam pad. Either is fine to use. Make sure that your shoulders are on the support, the back of the head is on the floor, the back of the neck has been lengthened, so that when you come into the pose, the neck is free. Your chair should be behind you if you're using your chair, so roll up into Halasana, Plow Pose. Place the hands into the back, pushing the back ribs in with the fingers, lifting the side ribs up with the thumbs. Move your elbows in towards one another, and move your hands out of your waist and up towards your shoulders. Be active in your legs. So be on the tips of the toes and push the thigh muscles strongly away from your face. Look into the chest. Keep the gaze of the eyes inwards, into the chest, and allow the breath to flow smoothly, evenly through the nostrils. Press down into your elbows. Don't let the elbows lift up. If this is a difficult pose for you, we will be doing another tutorial on this, working with the belts, showing how to use different techniques to come into Halasana. And we do have a 5-day program to improve your Halasana on our playlist, so have a look at that if this is a difficult action for you. Keep the breath smooth and the legs active. We're coming out of the pose now, so roll yourselves down gently. Lift your launch pad out, whether that's a bolster or a foam pad. Wriggle down slightly on your support, on your platform, so that you can place your launch pad underneath your head, and then your pelvis is beneath the level of your torso. This allows the body to rest. Allow the eyes to close, the abdomen to soften. Keep the legs bent. We're going to come into Supta Konasana now, so roll to the right, move your platform out of the way. If you're working in the modified action, you can take your bolster to the end of the mat and wrap it up in it, as we've shown in the previous day's series. Or if you're working in the classic version, bend your knees, hold onto the fronts of the ankles and come into Supta Konasana, supine bound angle pose, using your hands to keep your legs in place. Otherwise, soles of the feet together onto the top of the bolster. You can always use a couple of foam pads if you don't have a bolster. Move in towards your heels and recline back. Those working in the classic pose, see can you keep hold of the frontal ankles and keep the softness in the pose as you settle into this supine action. Those working in the modified action, turn the palms of the hands towards the ceiling, have the arms slightly away from the body and let the fingertips curl in towards the palms. You can allow the body to soften now, so relax the abdomen, soften the throat. Let the facial features relax, releasing the tongue. Soften between the eyebrows. Let the breath settle now. We're going to come out of this pose, so bring the knees together. Now if you're working in the classic action, just bend the knees for a moment to let the back settle. If you're working in the modified version, unwrap your bolster, bring it more towards the centre of the mat so that you can place the backs of the legs, the backs of the knees over the bolster. If you need a blanket for your head, then please do take it. Stretch your legs out and release the ankles, the shins. Open out in the soles of the feet. Release the calf muscles. Let the fronts of the thighs be soft. Take your attention into the lower abdomen. Allow that area to release and soften. Have the palms of the hands facing the ceiling. Don't trap your ribs with your upper arms, but have them just slightly away from the body. So the arms aren't in line with your shoulders, nor are they trapped down by your ribs, but just halfway in between. As you breathe, feel the softness of the ribs as they're expanding and contracting. Soften the throat. Relax at the sides of the neck. Don't hold tension in the facial features. Keep the teeth apart, but the lips together. We're going to come out of the poses now, so place the fingertips lightly onto your ribs. Carefully bend your knees and roll yourselves to the right side. Rest on your right side for a moment. And now, slowly, gently, carefully bring yourselves into a seated position. Come into Sukhasana, simple cross legs.